was all a dream.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Let's start dreaming.
It alters your life and you never think the same again.
Some dumb thing on the edges of nowhere.
A collection of question marks stuck together into a pit of darkness. No logic, no reason, no explanation.
We can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice between fear and love.
That's just deep, bro. That's deep.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Start Dreaming, episode 5 already. My name is Mikey.
And my name is Carson.
And before we get off started with anything, I'd like to shout out a very happy birthday to my best buddy, my co-host, my creator, my partner in crime, Carson McGregor. He is 21 today. When you're watching it, it'll be a couple days past he's 21. But happy birthday, Carson. I love you, buddy.
Another day closer to the grave.
Well, at least you're on the other side of the dirt today. But, so, last episode, if you had watched, was about religion. And I almost felt as if I didn't even bring anything to the table about Christianity or Catholicism. I went to Catholic school for 13 years of my life, and I kind of just didn't say anything. And there's
we were also talking about religion in a super theoretical sense for the most part, just kind of talking about the idea of religion in general rather than anything specific.
You're right there, because we didn't go into the only thing we really did get about is Jesus and God, but other than that, we didn't go into the nitty-gritty meat and potatoes of it. But, it's a very big subject. We could do a whole 100 episodes on this, but today we're just going to go back to do it again. Because there's a lot to talk about, Mr. Heathen. Yeah. You godless prick. Actually, I'm kidding. But, a few of you were quite concerned for our salvation and our sanity after...
And I want you guys to rest assured. If you're concerned about our salvation, we talk crazy on this podcast, we say crazy shit, but I just want you guys to know we are both going to hell for sure. I got tickets
pre-ordered.
I got them on StubHub and shit. They were on sale.
We got a little shit from people that I'm 99% sure did not watch the episode and only spoke on the ads, the posts I put out there. Albeit, I did put a little clickbaity post. I said I had a clip of Carson saying, "Oh, the Bible's not real. Nothing in the Bible is real. We know it's not real." Obviously, it's gonna get hardcore Bible believers talking. Now, I want to say,
I want to clear that up. What I said about the Bible genuinely. What I mean when I say the Bible isn't real, I'm saying that there's certain stories that don't match up with reality. They don't match up with historical records. They're just based on the timeline alone, and it's okay that they don't. It doesn't mean the religion isn't real. I don't know if the religion is real, but you can't base your argument off of something that's probably not true. Doesn't it make more sense to say, okay, these things aren't factually accurate, but they're stories. They're stories more as parables to tell and to pass on, to teach lessons. Doesn't that make so much more sense?
And that's the thing, I just think a lot of people overlook that aspect of let's gain something out of this rather than let's follow this word for word, getting smited down by building a tower to heaven. I forget what story that is, but let's take the story.
Tower of Babel.
Let's take the meaning of the Tower of Babel instead of actually the actual story of it, and let's gain something from it rather than just being scared of God because he just fucked some people up. Catholicism is a very beautiful thing in my eyes. Christianity is a very, very beautiful religion, a very, very beautiful, along with Judaism. I'm sure, and Islam.
Which they're all the same religion, by the way, if you didn't know.
Kind of.
They're all basically the same religion.
Kind of.
Judaism is
that's a bold statement. That's a freak.
It is, but it's
not. But
they are.
It is.
Judaism is the first book. Christianity is the second.
The
Islam
first
is
four
the third.
books. Oh, you're talking about in a joke, in a kind of joking context.
Not really. They reference all the same characters. It's like they just kind of believe on like who was really the guy. You know, Jews believe the Messiah has not come yet.
They thought Moses was the shit.
Christians believe that Christ was the Messiah, and like Muslim people believe that Jesus was a prophet who, you know, told some great stories, but that Muhammad was the prophet.
And then Scientologists and Mormons got it right. Bob Saget is the third coming. Praise Bob.
Scientologists don't have a God.
I thought it was Bob Saget.
No, it's Xenu is the creator.
I shouldn't be laughing because it's like a religion like every other, and everyone.
No, it's not. No, Scientology. Let's not even put that idea out in the world. Scientology is not a religion like every other. It's a Ponzi scheme created by a fucking a scam artist.
I'm going to try to not agree with you so often. Not that I intentionally agree with you ever, but sometimes I do unintentionally. I do because I genuinely do sometimes. But like with this, I guess I have to agree with you. I have to agree to a certain stance because I just feel mushy and iffy about Scientology. That shit's just wackola crapanola type shit.
Yeah, they just take advantage of their followers. It's really fucked up.
Well, what religion doesn't? I'm okay. Well, yes, but
boom. There comes the real question.
I meant that half-heartedly, but as it was coming out of my mouth, honestly, it kind of felt wholeheartedly, because a lot of them do. A lot of them do. A lot of them beg for money for good causes.
Not historically always.
Yeah.
The problems with religions is, I'm not speaking on whether or not they're true. I feel like I got to make that point clear every time now. That it's like, I'm not saying your religion is fake. I'm saying that people have used your religion time and time again, not yours specifically, but basically every major religion time and time again for their own purposes, financially or for power, a bunch of different reasons.
Look, I want to bring it back to the Bible, and let's talk about some stuff. I think a lot of the let's bring it back to the salvation, Old Testament, New Testament shit. I think a lot of the Old Testament, like we were saying earlier, it's a bunch of stories interpreting things more so. I think, like, if you tell me Adam and Eve were the first two humans, I'm not gonna believe you. I mean, okay, look, we all evolved we all share a common ancestor from a few 100 million years ago, and every living species on Earth probably evolved from them. I can't say that something came from space and maybe they have another gene or another DNA route than us, but like something like Adam and Eve, the story of Adam and Eve, it's an interpretation to me of Genesis and Adam and Eve, an interpretation of how the earth was created to explain to a society that didn't have much scientific understanding of the world. So, you know, people always as humans, we're curious by nature. We want to understand the world around us, right? And so, yeah. I mean, fucking, they didn't know that there were fucking. They did not know that there were germs in the time of Jesus. They did not know about cells and germs and things of that nature. I'm pretty. When did they fucking discover that? Okay, I don't want to make 100% claims that I don't know, but I know that they didn't discover that kind of shit until probably 1700s, 1600s, when microscopes were around.
1800s, I'm pretty sure they discovered germs.
And that's fucking crazy. Because germs are bad. We know this. But
that's when medical technology started to get better, because they realized that they had to wash their hands because they were still carrying bacteria from
surgeries.
Yeah.
What a gross time. But we live and learn, just like we did in the Bible. And so things like let's talk about Islam, right? They say not to eat pork. Why? Is there any good reason nowadays?
Because it's unclean.
But back then it was unclean. Back then it was a meat.
No, I mean it's an unclean animal. Like, it's not that it rolls around in shit. That's not what they're talking about. A lot of animals roll around in shit, but their religious belief, same thing with Jews, is that it's an unclean animal.
Well, I've heard a few sources, not obviously, but I've heard a few sources saying that it was a meat. It was an animal that carried a lot of disease, so if you did eat it, then you're gonna fucking die. And they're just trying to, like, the literal religion is trying to lay rules so you don't fucking get hurt and you don't die. that makes a lot more sense than it's just unpure. It's not good. You're literally gonna die if you eat it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree that it's kind of silly to not eat pork because of some weird religious belief. I also think it's weird to there's a bunch of religious beliefs that have been carried on that really could have fallen by the wayside. I mean, in Christianity, the big one is homophobia.
I was about to say that.
It is in the Bible. It is in the Bible. You can't have sex with dudes.
You
if you're a
cannot
dude.
commit sodomy. You
But
cannot lay with another man.
if you're a woman, you can have sex with a woman, because around the time of Solomon, there was a bunch of people having harems, and they had to make some adjustments to the Bible to allow it, because the Bible is sort of written by prophets at the time, not anybody around the time of Jesus. It was all written like significantly. The New Testament specifically was all written significantly after the death of Jesus. But
I don't know how significantly.
hey guys, we had a tech issue right there, so we kind of cut off for a second. But we were just talking about the time that the New Testament was written in comparison to Jesus Christ.
So you're saying significantly after Jesus died, it was written. How? I'm thinking that it was written along the lines of like when he was alive, or not. Okay, so part of it when he was alive, but also 50, and I'll admit to 100, 150 years afterwards, because there are some people that there was a lot of oral tradition happening. There was a lot of oral.
Yeah. The first part, the first writing of Jesus after that took place ever, which is the first gospel, was about 50 years after his death.
Okay. Written, you're thinking, or you're saying?
Written, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure someone had to be there, though. I mean, at least a few people. Like I said, orally, the story's been passed around, so people want to record it.
Yeah, well, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were all
homies.
Like Jesus' homies. So, the idea that they were around and they carried on that story, that's not hard to believe at all. More of my issue with it is, it's kind of twofold. Is one, a lot of the Bible is written about events in hindsight, and two, you don't really know how much of it has been doctored, because original documents are few and far between.
What do you mean doctored?
By the church, changed by the church. Because there was a very long time in history where only certain people could read the Bible. Because first of all, not that many people.
That's a lot of power that you hold too. Let's be real.
Right.
If you're one of the only people that can read and write and transcribe, because the Bible, printing press. Before the printing press, each copy of the Bible is literally fucking handwritten by fucking monks just chilling, in their monastery. And that's dedication.
Yeah. Until
that's a lot of fucking stuff.
I can't remember who invented the printing press, but I think it was either Gutenberg was either the printing press guy or the first Bible guy, and it might be the same guy.
I thought it was Gutenberg. But look, so in the Bible, there's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John's poems. There's a select few things in there. Now, what gets me, I mean, okay, I like the Bible. I understand its position in the Catholic faith and the Christian faith. But what is in the Bible was decided by humans. Yes, we can all say the Bible was written by God. The Bible, it was put together by God, because look, if you ask your theology teacher, every theology teacher I asked, mostly everyone I asked, who wrote the Bible? Well, God did, because they mean it was written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, whoever, through God. Just like we're making, I like to believe maybe we're making this music, we're making these songs, we're making this podcast through God, because God is in all of us. I interpret it like that. I think that's how it's supposed to be meant.
Well, the annoying atheist point, which I wouldn't take this much of a hard stance, I just like to point it out, is that there are a lot of contradictions, especially in the Old Testament, of events and teachings of God, and it's some say that God did this, some say that he did this, and they happen in different parts of the Bible. And it's because the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, was written by a bunch of different writers who did not talk to each other. Like it was a bunch of different guys that were kind of going off of something, or they had to update something for the times that they were living in, so they had to change it slightly and rewrite history a little bit. And so that's the annoying atheist will claim like, well, that just proves it's not true. That just proves it's obviously bullshit. And it's like, well, maybe, or maybe it's just human beings wrote it and we're getting like a pretty chopped and screwed version of it. So like, what can you really trust about the Bible,
And it's let's not forget, it's been through translation. It's been through a lot. And so, also going back to the Council of Trent, did I even mention that?
No.
Council of Trent is where the Bible came to place. The Council of Trent was, I'm a little rusty on my history, my memory with the years, but I want to say maybe 200 to 1200. I know that's a huge time gap, but it was a group of holy people who decided, all right, let's put this in the Bible. Let's not put this in the Bible. So a group of people had to decide what they deemed righteous and holy and well and all dandy and good for the Bible. There's fucking hundreds of holy texts that are not there, that are known, the Dead Sea Scrolls. Like,
yeah.
What, do we discredit that?
Yeah, like the Gospel
of Thomas. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's like the famous one that it's debated whether or not it's supposed to be in the Bible.
And there's plenty of sources that say Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene. There's plenty of sources that say a lot of different things.
That women don't go to heaven.
You're lying.
That's in the Gospel of Thomas, and that's why it's so hotly debated.
Imagine if that was in the Bible. Okay, let me also address my weird arm placement. I did a new camera angle. I'm just having a hard time putting my arm somewhere. But, like, okay, that really has me thinking, Carson, because, like, okay, let's say that they put that in there, and for the next fucking 2,000 years, women don't have a place in heaven, and Catholicism never took off, Christianity never took off, because, what the fuck?
I mean, because if we're thinking about it honestly, then, if by Christianity rules, women don't go to heaven, but they don't want anybody to know that women don't go to heaven, so that women are still in on it. They want to keep them in on it.
They've got double the following now. But
it's like if bronies got really into our podcast, like we wouldn't endorse them, but we also wouldn't shy them away because it's views. It's like we don't fuck with bronies, but if they're liking our shit,
give me your ad revenue. It's like we don't make ad revenue yet. But okay, that has me thinking about gay people in the Bible and the church. It's like, okay, well, if this one book that happened to be included said this, why does it hold such value to so many Christians? Why? Because they take the Bible so literally. They take it so literally, and it's just not how you should do it, in my opinion. Like I said in the last episode, pardon me for my burp again. Like I said in the last episode, you really need to find this shit for yourself. Because, in my opinion, it does not become meaningful at all if you don't find it for yourself. My parents, every Sunday, they're like, oh, you should come to church. Why don't you come to church with us? I don't come to church because I already have my relationship with God. I have these God moments every day. I know He is with me. I know I am with Him at every moment of every second of my life. Going to church does not make me feel any type of way. Pretending I'm listening to the priest does not make me feel holier. Taking the communion, I mean, I see the beauty. I see that there's a beauty in that because the communion is supposed to be the body of Christ entering you. I see the beauty in that. I see the holy in that. But like, I don't need that. And I just feel like my parents are the ideal fake Christians. They even make fun of people that are twice a year Catholics. Like, oh, they only go to church on Easter and Christmas. Like, okay, well, you're saying all this about people, like, and you're saying all that about people. You're being all this judgmental. You're being this way. Are you really Christian? Are you really Catholic? Have you ever taken the time to delve into your own faith? Do you care?
The judgmental Christian is honestly such an oxymoron, because if you read about Jesus and who he was as a guy, I remember talking to a fella at work who was not
Jesus
a
is my
religious
fucking role
person.
model.
Who
One
was
of them.
not a religious person, not into any type of Christianity, but he started looking into it. And I've never heard this as a story. Usually if you're into Christianity, you're either it was like part of how you grew up, or
Yes.
you got really into drugs and you needed something to get you out of it, so you went to God. And
Straight up though.
this guy was telling me that he was interested in Christianity, and I was like, really? That seems odd. And he said, because I mean, he's a lot like me. He's very like much an overthinker, and I'm like, it seems like that wouldn't be the route you would take. And he said, no, I'm really into the stories of Jesus, because he's like, I always thought of Christians in one way, in one context, and when I read about Jesus and what he was all about, really, it's nothing like modern day Christianity. There is no judgment. He does not judge people. He actually sought out the people who were sinners. He sought out those who were murderers, who were thieves, who were prostitutes. Jesus was homies with a lot of prostitutes, and he sought out these. I guess you could call them at the time dregs of society, to try to make them into his image. That was his whole plan. It was not forcing anything upon anybody. It wasn't judging anybody for not being a believer. It was the most hippy dippy shit you could possibly imagine.
And look, like I said earlier, Jesus is one of my role models. Literally, like, I say it all the time. I love Jesus for the fact that he literally led by example. He did not judge. He was all love. He understood that love your neighbor as yourself, meaning literally love each other as yourself, because we all are one in my eyes. Like, if I'm not kind to you, Carson, then I'm not kind to myself,
Yeah.
And a big thing about, look, Catholicism means like Christ. We are other Christs. So being a Catholic means, and I'm pretty sure at least like 90% of Catholics don't even know that Catholicism means other Christ. So being a Catholic means you are like God. In the Bible, they teach that God is fully man, fully human, or fully God, fully human. Now, what does that mean for us? We have God in us. That means that we are also fully God and fully human, and I don't think people really realize that we have this duality in ourselves. This is what I believe. Carson, you don't have to believe this. Nobody has to believe this. We have God in us. We have man in us. Jesus made this thing saying he is the Son of God. He is dying for our sins. He is dying for us. He is sacrificing himself for us. Now, whether you believe that or not, just look at it as this God sent himself down to earth, his son, himself. He literally killed himself. He died. He willingly died.
That's my problem, man. Like, if you're Jesus up on the cross, why don't you use your laser vision? They talk about it earlier in the Bible that Jesus obviously has laser vision, and if he's up on the cross, he's dying. He could take at least 80% of those Romans out, and the rest of them would run screaming. And then he would fly out of there and do his thing.
But it's a demonstration of love, and it's a demonstration of sacrifice, and I love that. I love that. I feel like I'm missing something, because I explained this many times to people and myself, but I feel like I'm missing something. But if you can pick up something from what I just said, then props to you.
Well, God is, like I mentioned on the last podcast, and I think this is something I really want to stress, is that if you believe something, it becomes real. If you have belief of something and it's real to you, then it is real. I don't buy into Scientology, as I mentioned earlier. I think it's a whack job religion. But if they believe in it truly, then it is real for them, and that's all that matters. And if you believe that God is in you, then that's all that matters. The only person I know God was in was Mary, 8 inches deep. You know what I'm saying?
Such a
Boom!
bubblegum dum-dum looking ass up.
Boom.
My sister tells me, "Oh, what if Mary just made up the religion so she didn't get caught cheating?" And I've heard that elsewhere too.
I mean, yeah, that's a good theory.
With my Jesus,
Joseph's like, this baby don't even look like me. They go on like Bethlehem.
He's got blue
Maury
eyes.
Povich.
Say it again.
They go on like Bethlehem's Maury Povich.
That one went right over my head. I'm not following.
Maury Povich.
Nope.
Maury.
Nope.
The guy who, are you the father? You are not the father. Maury Povich.
Oh! That took me a sec. I like those clips where the guys are just doing backflips like, yeah, bitch, I'm not the father, you are a hoe type shit.
This guy talks about him, being a religious person, this man Mikey, and he doesn't even know Maury Povich.
I've seen him. There's a period where I've been watching like Steve Wilkos and
That's
shit
the
like
second coming of Christ in the flesh.
All right, back to religion. Is that like I went all passionate about that. Like I don't even identify as a Catholic like much like that. I just see the beauty in the identification of the self-sacrifice that this guy made for himself. That he does everything out of love because creation itself is love in my eyes. There's nothing exists without love in this universe to me. Love is the backbone of everything. Love is. That is the statement that you have to you don't even have to say more than that. It's just love is. And that's it. And going back to like growing up in a Catholic Christian school, I don't really give a fuck about Christianity or God or anything. I mean, I give a fuck about God, but like I didn't give a fuck about religion growing up because when it's brought upon you, like it doesn't mean shit. It's like saying the Pledge of Allegiance, kind of. But like,
yeah, no, that's actually a great parallel. Is you don't know why you're saying this. You're like, oh yeah, I'm an American. I'm proud to be an American. You've just been told to say that, and it totally doesn't mean anything to you.
It's literally just like going through the motions, and you're just like, okay, well, what the fuck is going on? And then you hear this guy, God, just fucking like Santa Claus, like, oh, if you're good, you get to go to heaven, and if you're bad, you get to go to hell, and you're burned forever. It's just like, what the? I mean, you have to like make it easy for kids to understand if you want them to learn, but really, like I said earlier, it comes in finding it yourself. It doesn't mean shit if you don't find it yourself.
Yeah, I don't think they should teach kids religion. That's another issue I have with it. Just like don't bring your kids up into that. Like if make the options available. Like these are the people that think they know the answers, and take your pick of the litter.
The worst part about growing up in it is that people often resent it later on in life. They deny it, they resent it.
Well, it's also because of the modern perversion. If we're talking about Christianity specifically, it's the modern perversion of Christianity, because the modern version of Christianity is so fucking different from what it was meant to be initially.
I think that a lot of it is held in the people who believe it.
That's what I'm saying.
Teachers.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's not. It itself isn't it.
But exactly. That's why we're talking. If you read the Bible, if you actually do make your own, come to your own conclusions based on the texts, then you will probably have a different outlook than what's being taught to you at the average church. Because
each church can have different things.
Most religion has made Christianity all about you. It's made it all about what you can do right and wrong, and that's not what it's about. It's not about like judgment. It's not about like giving yourself these lashes and feeling bad when you mess up. It's not it is totally not built on those principles whatsoever.
I hear you. Yeah, no, it's love in my eyes. It's all love, and I know that's stressed. I don't know how enough it is stressed. I think it'd be a cool thing if public schools had religion classes, but like okay, here's Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hindu's not. I don't know if Hindu's a religion.
Hinduism, yeah.
Or is that just a philosophy? But either way, it'd be cool to just soak in all of that, and like try to find, at least get exposed to it, and then figure it out yourself.
The reason they won't do that is because we're going to have way too many Buddhists running around because Buddhism seems lit.
Yeah, everyone's just gonna be enlightened. Like fuck.
Dude, everybody's going to be enlightened as fuck.
We're gonna tear down the government.
Oh my god, I was almost a Buddhist, man. When I came out of rehab, I went to these like Buddhist meetings. They have like Buddhist recovery meetings, and I was like almost sold.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I was like, dude,
Nope,
this is great. It's like there's no God. It's just all about like you reincarnated until you reach enlightenment, and then you go to nirvana. I'm like, that's fucking lit.
I take as I say I have my own relationship with God, I do take a lot from Buddhism. Like, not that I actively study it, but the things I do, like my tattoo on my arm, let go. Let things go that you can't change, accept. And I don't know too much about Buddhism, but there's a lot about it in me.
It's all about oneself. It's all about, I mean, honestly, acid is a very Buddhist
oh my God.
drug because
You're
acid,
telling me?
What acid does is it like
It dissolves the ego.
tears down your ego and tears down your sense of self.
That's what meditation. Go ahead. I don't.
And well, that's kind of the practice of Buddhism. Is it's relinquishing all desire and relinquishing all of these things of the flesh and going straight to a spiritual place, like not becoming who you have been ingrained to be and becoming who you actually are. That's what Buddhism is all about. And I think it's a beautiful concept. I don't think it's real. I don't think reincarnation's real, but it's a beautiful concept.
Like, I hardly ever say I want to be famous. I want this. I mean, I think I do. I don't know, but like what I really mean is I will let happen whatever is going to happen. I have dreams of doing this, but whatever happens, happens, and I'm okay with that. Whatever route takes me to success, whatever route brings me happiness, I am okay with that. Because I know that there's a plan for me. I know God has a plan for me. I know that my destiny is happening and unfolding at this rate that I cannot change. And I'm okay with it. And with that, I think it's time to close off the episode. Guys, thank you so much for listening to episode 5, where we delved into religion and philosophy more. Please follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Wade and Loki. Like the video. Subscribe, comment, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it on Facebook. Carson?
Yeah. Final thoughts. If you are a religious person, do not get lost in it. Don't take anything we've said way too seriously. We're just kind of speaking, again, very theoretically here. If you're a hardcore atheist and you don't know about Apollonius of Tyana, go Google that shit. You'll blow your fucking mind. It's
what the fuck is that?
It's a great read it's like atheist pornography. I swear to God. Like it's because it's like another guy that was basically the same as Jesus in the same time as Jesus, but like he didn't get, he just didn't. History told a different story. There's a bunch of those. There's a bunch of other messiahs. Jesus was just the one they picked out of the fucking haystack to be the guy. But there's plenty of guys at the time that were preaching the same.
So you say.
No, that they were. Those people were. It was. I mean, Christianity only really has gotten to the point it's gotten to because of Constantine. He saw a star in the sky and he's like, all right, all my people got to be following this shit.
You don't know that.
That is true. That is the reason Christianity spread.
It spread because of people. We're ending the episode. Okay, we can't keep on going in it. But
Constantine is the reason that Christianity exists. But it doesn't mean it's not real.
I don't know how much I agree with that or not. I'll come back next episode and say.
Follow us on Instagram at Wade and Loki. Subscribe to the channel. Do all the shit Mikey just said. I'm Carson. I'm signing out.
And I'm Mikey. I'm signing out. Bye.
Been feeling disconnected now. I get money. No, I'm reckless now. I get high. Coming off the ground. This life is a prison. Someone let me out. Been feeling disconnected now. I get money. No, I'm reckless now. I get high. Coming off the ground. This life is a prison. Someone let me